for this ministry. Get this thing set. There we go, better. All right. Thank you for the gospel. Thank you for all things. Your timing is absolutely perfect. I don't understand your time, although I do understand we have a celestial clock above our head. Your timing is absolutely perfect. You pour out a just measure on all. So it might not be until after this flesh that we receive our reward. So we don't question Father. I know I question you, Father, and I shouldn't. We're not supposed to. He does all these things after his own counsel. Thank you that you're your own counsel. You're sovereign and you're perfect. You're without blemish. You're spotless. You're sovereign. So you can't sin. And there's only one thing that is without sin, without darkness, and that is the Most High. I am. He is the pure horizo. He's the divider of that light. Horizo, separator, the morning, right? Morning, like weeping and gnashing of teeth. The AM, right? First top of the day, right? Like the morning star. So, but all right, remember, he is the Most High, the light, pure light, without darkness, and he can't sin. He's blameless, and we tend to want to blame him when things go bad, and because it's not in our timing. I know I'm guilty, so his timing's perfect, and so timing is everything, right? Right time, right place, wrong time, right time, wrong place. You tell me. Not by chance or by luck. So all things created after his own counsel and for his own pleasure, he says. All things. So he's the creator of what we would think is time, but it's more of an illusion, because time is never ending. It's an eternal, like Solomon knew. Nothing new under this sun. Not the, remember, there's two suns, right? You've got the one over your head and then the one not in the sky. The one who said to meet him in the sky. Huh? Yep. That's how it goes. Meet him in the sky. So we're just having a discussion about how we're supposed to give thanks for all things, and we don't understand the time. The timing is off. Our timing is I do it. I fall on that all the time. All the time. See, make the mistake. So I sin. I fall short. My character falls short. Karak, the character, to be off the mark. The mark is to be the sin is the word. Karak is mark or character. Your character is what your mark. Mark of the beast. There's no physical mark of anything under this testament. So New York on the other side of the divided corporation on the Washington DA. Now I think it's the DA, District of America. That's a stupid name, but they make up. You play stupid games, you get stupid prizes. So that's how it goes. The big top, it's like a circus. Oh, that's a carnival, huh? Well, kind of, but it's a big show. Games. These people like to play games and tricks. Silly rabbit. Tricks for kids. Yeah, yapping. Just listen to their Johnny Cash or Casanova. No Casanova. They told me to shut up. They tried to throw a grenade and hit me in the face. That didn't shut me up. So you think your little words, your little God there, your little spells, little casting, little trying to sting me with curses and cursive on me. Oh, wait, you can't. You can only type in bold cap, huh? Cap or yap. But yabba. Jabba. Did you jabba? You're a bumbling idiot, right? Got diarrhea of the mouth. Like diarrhea, it runs in the genes. Get it? Good genes. You know who I are. You don't know who I am. I am apocalypse. I am revelation. How about that? You don't know Jack. Diddly. You know Diddy. I know you probably went to that bath baby oil party. Uh-oh. Johnny Casanova went to the baby oil party. He was there with Mr. Warp Speed. Were you trading lightsabers in the ice hole there, Casanova? No Casanova. Oh, remember that? Well, supernova here, right? Nova. That's stupid. That's like an explosion, like diarrhea that runs in the genes. Get it? A nova. It's a nova from the backside. You're leaking. You got anal syrup coming out your backside there, Casanova. It's waves, tsunami, anal syrup waves of coming out your back. Too much backside. You let too many people in your backside. Too much trading lightsabers in your ice hole there, buddy. Yeah, like Buddy Holly or Johnny Cash. This sucks. So, how you like that? You like apples? Huh? How you like them apples? What a silly group of idiots that I come across daily here, right? Silly. They think rabbits are for tricks, right? Or for kids. Silly rabbit, like chasing a carrot. They get him chasing a carrot. It's like a string, got him on like a puppet. Who's your master? He said you can't serve two. This guy says he knows who I am. He don't know who I am. He don't know Jack. Remember, he knows Diddy. He don't know Diddley. That's all he knows is the Diddy party. He went to the Diddy party. Oh. Silly hats that wear hats inside. Okay, whatever, idiot. Hats inside. Oh, we got some kind of formal. Oops. Oh, wait, hold on. You want me to put on a clown suit for you? Oh, a little wig, the rainbow wig. Get out of here, you little fruitcake. A little silly. Trying to be silly. Don't try to be nice to me. That word means to be stupid. Get out of here. You're out of your league. Cult of personality. Culture. You better study before you come in here and start speaking. Let things come out of your pie hole. You know, whatever pan god you're going after. Gods in the sky. So, idiot. Define the word idiot. You're on the clock. You want to play a game? Doom, 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 doom. You want to play Let's Make a Deal? Oh, how about Press Your Luck? Big bucks, no whammy. Stop. Okay, you're slower than Christmas, aren't you? You little pagan sun god. Little Jesus. Transgender Jesus. Can't even define anything. You have no definition, and you're a translator. So you can leave now, culture. You don't know cultures. You don't know customs. You don't know the word dialect or gloss or tongue. It's too A-list forward to you, right? Alien. You don't know what I'm saying. You can't keep up. Like orange juice concentrate. Like vitamin C, what I'm saying? Or come on, B12 from the sun. It's not you. It's not CO2. It's the sun. Speaking a different dialect and tongues. No such thing as speaking in tongues there, idiot. Now define the word idiot. You're slower as hell. Come on. I'm waiting. You ain't saying anything. I don't hear nothing out of you. Did you disappear? Dropped off like cult of personality. Isn't it great? Like great again. Oh, he said something. Okay, couldn't answer the question. All right, you're out of here, child. All right, if you can act like a kid, I'll just throw you out of here. If you can't even produce any fruit, you're a child. So I don't, children of darkness. I don't sup with vipers. I was a snake. Remember, he said to you before you let me in, you're not going to stay in here. I don't have to hang out with you. This ain't some religious idiot channel. You can't define the word that's coming out of your face. You want to try to use a word. He is the word. You're not going to use that against me. Remember, Paul, put on the armor. Your enemy come against you one way, I'll make them flee 7 ways. So you're out of here. Don't worry about it. You'll be thinking about me for at least a week. Oh, don't worry about the rent space in your head. So, silly little trolls. They're small and short. Not, like I said, they're not below me, but they gotta, come in and try to get their rise, get their Nimrod off or whatever their happy ending to bring you down to their level or right to lift themselves up. That's called narcissism. It really is. These people are silly, but that's okay. Remember, silly rabbit tricks are for kids. We'll put a little cast a spell on them, play a little word salad with them, and we'll mix it up. So they're idiots, most of them. Like I said, that's not an insult. And that's the problem with no definition in anybody this day and age. Most thing is, well, slang. They throw a bunch of bull crap around, and that's okay. You should study before you speak up. You know, you got to study culture and have a name culture. You probably don't even know what cult of personality means. They never studied a culture. Like used to be illegal. To never mind illegal. That's funny. How about just in public? You couldn't even a man. And couldn't kiss his wife in public. Get all smoochy hug. It was called. Well, you could, but it was frowned upon. PDA, public display of affection. That was frowned upon. Like, get a room for Christ. Children weren't supposed to see that. Children aren't supposed to see sex ever. Never are children supposed to be involved in any kind of sexual activity in any way, shape, or form. So making a child liable at the age of 14, like the crap they're doing right now with this legislation, is making children, it's normalizing this pedophilia bullshit that they like to push on people. They're bullies and Nephilim, and they don't understand culture. Yeah, cult of personality. Remember, people didn't care if you had a walk-in closet. We didn't want you advertising your closet. You stayed in the closet. Well, you kept it to yourself. Remember, then people wanted to start advertising about hey, look how many closets my house has got. Like, hey, keep that advertisement to your, just, what do kids need to know about, the closet and coming, and how many, come on, grow up. Oh, now it's totally accepted. Remember, Mr. 44, Mr. Vomit, 50 states wide, passed, all of it's legislation, all their nonsense. None of it's all repugnant. They don't do any of this through the House, Congress, and Senate. And if it's not adjudicated, remember, we have a judicial branch, a legislative. Congress makes the laws, not presidents. Presidents make executive orders. Is not lawful, nor is it legal. It's repugnant, and they don't make tariffs. Presidents don't make tariffs. But no, 923 is what Vomit put out. So it doesn't matter. These things still go on. The show must go on. It's a big show. Like, was it George Carlin said? It's a big club, and you're not in it. Don't you worry about it. Holy gas, find the straight gate. Yeah, it's the big boy club, right? Yeah, it's an adult conversation. See your way out of here. You're not involved, right? You're just some goyim. You're a useless food eater. That's what they call people, Step to the side, pawn. Down here at the pawn shop. Oh. So, where am I from? My dad used to tell me I wasn't from this realm, time, place, and space. He said, you know what? You're not like your brothers. For Christ's sake, would you listen to me? Would you just, I know you hear me. I know you're in there. Hello, Earth, Mork from Mork, Nanu, Shazbot, come back to Earth, Tracy, come back to place, somewhere in space. So my dad told me I was from somewhere other place, space, but there is no space. There's no gods in the sky. My dad said he was from under the sink because he'd remember hearing the water running, but I was birthed in the concrete jungle. How about that? Can you figure that out? We'll play a little ring around the rosy. So, born in the concrete jungle. So, birthed there on the border. So I can border talk all day long. So, these people are idiots. They don't have any idea about a wall. A wall lands on the border of Mexico and America. American, and you think it cares? No. It's a bird. Yeah, he said, be like a bird, right? I'm like a bird. He said, be wise as a serpent and gentle as a dove. So that's a bird, right? So turn your cheek, let Father fight all your battles for you, right? The Most High. So you can't listen to these idiots. They fight the world. They fight the flesh. Hey, I make the mistake. Done it. The man's enemies to be the one of his own household in Matthew 10:34-39. Read that. Read that 500 million times. Read it until you don't have to read it anymore, because it's actually already written on the bride of the hearts of the bride, on fleshy tables in blood. Remember, beard blood he paid in. Striped him. How many times, how many lashes, how many times they whip him? Does anybody want to whip you? He said, conform to my image. So we'll whip the snot out of your slang out of here. That's called the word demon. That's a liar and a deceiver. A deceiver and a liar, a distributor of fortunes and lies to others. By definition. So you don't speak any definition. You can't be in here. You got to go. I don't sup with vipers. I don't cast my pearls before swine. So I don't live in a state of union where everything's awesome. You know, Team America. So nothing's getting fixed because nobody can admit that there's problems. Somebody's got to talk about it. I got solutions. Get the fuck out of the system. How about that as a starter? How about you start with a water filter? I don't think I'm a little self-reliant. No, I won't want to do that. I'll just wait till the government's always going to be. There's two kinds of people on this rock. People who think the government's there are going to be always fix it and save it for them and rescue them. And there's people who think for themselves. So remember, you can lead a horse to water, but you can make them drink. You can lead a person to bathos, busos, knowledge. That's hell. No knowledge. That's what hell is. But you can't make them think. People think hell's below their feet, brothers and sisters. They think heaven's above their head. They think they live on a planet. They think it's 2025 for Christ's sake, and Christ is a pagan term. You know, oil, anointed. These people are lost in space. So you got to have solutions for your problems. Remember, the problem is get out of the system. You don't live on a planet. You're an idiot. You're planet of the apes, right? Let me guess, Chewbacca had Wookiee with an Ewok. Now we've got this guy spinning around on a ball. Keep your balls to yourself, please. Don't come in here and try to rub on my balls. Or I'll tell you what, I'll rub my ball, my crystal ball, and I'll tell you fortunes, right? No, we're not going to do that. That's demonic. I mean, that's lies. Fairy, you know, that's a Celtic demon. You know what an Arab demon is? A genie. More rubbing. Wiki, wiki, y'all, on the lamp. Give you wishes, fortunes. 3 of them lies. You're an idiot. Stop spinning. That's the Hebrew word pervert. You're perverted. You don't know any of the words, so don't talk about the word. It says this rock, remember, it can't be moved. So whatever you think there, Mr. Ballcamp. This one time in Bandcamp, take your little Peter Pan God and stick it in somebody else's American pie. You know, like a circle of pie, like a halo, like a round crown. He said in Revelation 3:11, I come quickly when you're sleeping. Let no one take your crown. He said, don't go to sleep. That means broadcast. The enemy came and sowed seeds while you were sleeping. To sow seeds is to broadcast. You've been watching broadcast in television. Careful what they put in your eyes. Television start stinging you when you was a child, poking at you and stinging you with the spelling bee, spelling spells and curses and cursive and going with channeling you, right? So you go with the flow. Yeah, you get schooled, didn't you? Did you go to public school, television? They told you lies to your vision. You're an idiot. You couldn't decipher up from down, left from right. You think you're spinning on a rock, ball, planet? What, third dimension rock? How about a block? If it's geometry, if I think of shapes, block or ball, you make up your mind, would you please? Okay, you're spinning on a rock, on a ball, block, corkscrewing and spinning. At 1,040 miles an hour, rock from the sun through time and space in the third dimension. From in corkscrewing, you can't, that's the Hebrew word pervert. Remember again? What are you doing to him? Why are you harassing him? Did I just drink coffee? I don't drink coffee, no. Ow! You got big old toes, you're biggie. You're such a big Bobby dog. You weigh like 100-some pounds. He was stepping on my toes. Oh, now you're choking yourself out. Stop it. My biggest. This is the dingo. He ate the baby Jesus. Somebody set the baby Jesus on the window. Did you put the baby on the windowsill? You eat the baby? Did you eat the baby Jesus? We're going to have to get you guys drink so much of that water. These guys like having camels. You don't know who. You Charles Manson. Shut up, you idiot. You know who Charles Manson is? You don't know anything about Charles Manson. You're a child. Stop being childish in there trying to get the room to think you're funny or some kind of an idiot is what you look like, a fool. You did. You've been spun and twisted, 2 jokers in a deck of cards. Don't try to come in here and play me there, buddy. Remember Smoke and Fire? You ever played that game? 52 pickup? We'll just see what you know, and you don't know your ass from a hole in the ground. Remember 2 cheeks to the same hole, 2 wings to the same dragon hole? I know. They're idiots. They do the worldly things. The things of the world. This is my dingo. And he makes sure that nobody gets near Dad, huh? Dude, you can't get near the Dad. You can't get near the Dad. He's protected the Dad. He knows you guys are, somebody's being ornery. If you try to get around me and do ornery, he will, hey, whatever, it's my puppies. We'll go let them outside. You want to meet me outside, and you can come meet the puppies. Come meet my puppies. Oh, I know. They're like, oh, look at this boy. He's just like, oh, Daddy, let him go outside. I'm going to get him, Dad. I'm going to get him. Come dig some holes with us out here. Dig some holes with us. Yes, he's Dingo. He's, his mama was his papa was a pistol. He's a son of a gun, but, no, he's quarter Dingo because his mom, was Dingo healer and his dad is Aussie, so he is a hybrid, so a Texas Aussie. I'll play 52-week pickup working. I know that sucks, huh? I have to punch that damn clock when you could be working for yourself. Get off the grid. So I'm looking, guys. I'm looking for people who are in the narrow way. There's only 2 ways. Right? There's the broad way, and that's because you're in a city. I live out in the country, and I'm a country. I was born in the concrete jungle, but I left the city as a child and got a taste of the country and visited, back then. Once I had a chance to get the hell out, I only visit. I'd rather wait all day at a line out here because we got some terrorists out here. I mean, tourists visiting, and wait behind them in line, and then to wait at a damn single one stoplight. I remember you have to bring a list when I go to town. I'll just turn around. As long as I got dog food and a burrito from the burrito cart, was El Parizo Palamo. That's what's Tacos Palamo. And, yep. Yeah, buddy. I'll go back home. I don't care what the hell else I had to do. I want to get out of the city. And that city I live in ain't even that, a couple hours from me, even that bad. So I'm in the Pacific Northwest, so I'm in the high desert Oregon outback, right off the edge of the tree line here out in the, this is a very biblical place, scriptural. The oldest clothing on this rock was found right here. They've already announced this is the oldest place in the Northern Hemisphere, and they're just dripping it out what's really here. Shh. I know. They don't want you to know. And that's all right. They sent a bunch of rich people and a bunch of corrupt cops out here to try to hide what they got out here. But remember, you can look it up. Look up Silver Lake, Oregon. You can look up ancient aliens. There's no such thing as aliens, but whatever. They're giants. That's the word Anak or Anaki. That was Gaza, now modern day Gaza. These people are such idiots. That's where they were told to go into the wilderness now after Ahab married Jezebel. That had nothing to do with giants or fallen angels. The word Nephilim means bully. And you're bullshitting, spreading your lies. That's demon. All this story about sons of God. There's some 30-foot man smashing his magic school bus, and some woman, some 5-foot frame shouldn't have sat right with you to begin with. That's not what would happen. That's not what sons of God are doing the will of the Father. So there's no way in hell they're fallen angels. An angel is a messenger. So people don't find anything. Nothing that comes out of their face. So there's a lost tribe of red-headed giants like the land of Gaza or Palestine. They were the champions, the Philistines. Palestine, Gaza, modern day. Remember Trump? Remember Kushner, his son? Oh, beachfront property in Gaza. You guys aren't mythology. Mithra, the sun god, like the mythology. Mithra, the sun god, like the one that Donald Trump has his house decorated. These people are idiots. Celestial idiots, biblical idiots, scriptural idiots. Remember, cultural idiots, customs they don't understand, their slang, they speak in another foreign new mystery Babylonian tongue. American, they don't even speak English anymore. So everything has been watered down. So he said, drink of the milk, not watered down, eat of the meat. That's what I give people in here, the meat. So he said, don't sup with vipers. So looking for the right people. People want to be self-sufficient. I live off the grid. I have for, many years. On my first place living off the grid. So what are you doing with your life? You hanging out in some city? Find a place around you. You'd be surprised if you start looking for people. Maybe they already have a homestead like me, and they need people like you. No universal. You're an idiot. That's called a prophet, and there's no prophecy. One truth is defined. It's not universal. Prophets, they could speak in one language like you say, and anybody could understand it like a universal language in theirs, but nobody does that. His language is universal because it's unchanged. So, all right. Let's definitely get this idiot out of here. We've got a demon that's entered in the room. Let's exorcise the demon. He's leeching. He's telling all kinds of lies. So we're going to exorcise his father. Will condemn him, remember? He'll live for over 900 years. Christ said he has many names, and he's not talking about in the same call him like Christ or Jesus or Shiloh. But that is probably the only, Noah and the flood that has gone through the test of all times. It's still it made it through the flood. So in all records, even Akashic, all records show this, the Yuga cycles. See, I don't know how much you know. So that's okay. Father doesn't, it's not, I don't feel like you're coming in here being facetious. You're not trying to be a jerk and, pull people's chain. So I think there are questions that you're trying to find some answers to. So thanks for asking, kind of remind me of the old me. There's no such thing as a stupid question. So remember, Canaanites. Why would I name Canaanites? How about Esau, who killed his brother, right? Nimrod, the bloodline, the one. Speak of the blue bloods. What does that matter? Now that question asks a question. Now, why would you ask me about naming 5 Canaanites? Where does that give you? What does that give you? You didn't even, I don't think you even took the last Rex. You're turning into a wreck here. You ask questions, but you're not contributing anything. So, did you get an answer to your first question? We gave you a few. Remember? Now answer my question, and maybe we can give you some more of this blue blood. The one that was left out, not mentioned in the lineage. You're not asking the right question. You either ask gospel questions only now, or I'm going to moderate you out of here, okay? Because you're just not asking the right questions anymore. So it's okay to be curious, like the cat, 9 lives, but Bible. Okay, goodbye, Rex. Don't want you here. All right, he's here for a minute, but we're not going to let just somebody spin off into their own, twirly whirly, forwarding and spinning and, Canaanites, huh? How about Esau? How about Nimrod? Oh boy, Moloch. We can do the same little name game. Why would he couldn't even answer the, ask question when he couldn't keep it gospel based in here, folks, or leave now. So given power. Well, absolutely. Remember, they could heal. They could speak in one language. They were prophets. And they could put hands on the sick and heal. Nobody can heal anybody with their hands. There's no such thing as healing. Faith healer, no healing. Christ can heal through the Hamashiach. He can perform miracles, but nobody can heal anybody. Remember earlier, I got on the same dialect gloss. I started talking about this in this tongue because somebody, right, they could speak in one tongue. Some idiot in here, who was that, said universal language. Nobody can speak in one language, and they could understand it in their language. That's so they had, yeah. They obviously, remember, prophecy. Now it's all written. Remember, Father created all things, so there's no prophets. No, prophet is the word teacher. So I hear Marcy over there barking. So no, that's not a thing. So absolutely, remember, Peter walked on water. Remember, the disciples. Remember, oh ye a little faith, all this. When things get storm, denying Christ and all these. You put on the armor of God, you can have powers in this world, but not powers of this Old Testament. We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, powers, spiritual wickedness, the rulers of the darkness of this world. So your master. So from Doom, I didn't watch Doom. Darn, I didn't watch that one. That's older too. That's something I could have watched. Maybe I did, and I just don't remember, because that's an older one. So. If no one could heal, but to believe in God so much that it works, maybe you can't believe in God. You're an idiot. You got to go. Are you a Christian? And your cross, is that a cross on your thing? Is blasphemy. So you know that nobody ever hung from crosses, or nobody ever carried crosses. So, is that what that logo is there that you got on your thing there? What's your name? Island. Is that Island? Okay. Heron Island. Okay. Doom's a video game. Oh, I thought it was a movie. No, that's Thunderdome. Tina Turner. Beyond Thunderdome, Mad Max. My bad. No, Doom was a movie, wasn't it, or something like that? But no, you're like I said, you're out of your league there. Let's not listen to this. Paul, what's going on? So your logo there with your image of with a cross is blasphemy. Nobody ever hung from crosses. So I would definitely, maybe, I don't tell anybody to change anything, but he warned us of idolatry and imagery. So nobody can believe in Jesus like you say. You're an idiot. You know that when it comes to the scripture, but that's okay. Iron sharpens iron. So, but I won't sup with vipers. So don't spit no more venom in here, please. And your logo is childish. It shows how much you've actually studied the scripture and know about torture and know about the Romans and Greek and Hebrew. You don't really know much of anything. That's okay. I'm not going to try to change you. Remember, can't turn a goat into a sheep. No, nobody was hung from crosses. That's the Ankh. That's the image of the Ankh. You're just a child, and that's okay. You have never studied. You've never studied it. It's throughout Scripture. You can find it in the book of Acts. It says in the book of Acts, "Cursed he who hangeth." They would stake somebody to a yoke or a stock. That's why you're stock exchanged. You're bonded. That's what they do. They sell you, but that's okay, people, to labor. But whatever, people that don't understand the labor and the pain and the carrying the yoke and the weight, these people are idiots. So nobody's ever studied. They don't study anything. So, hold on. We're getting messages. Oh, good. Well, I'm not supposed to be loved by the world, are you, child? So, remember, it said when they took him down from the tree, they hung people on trees. He formed the shape of a cross, but nobody was hung from crosses. That's blasphemy. So, no, he wasn't nailed to a cross. No, he was not nailed to a cross. The Roman, his wound on his body shows that he was not hung on a cross. That's not what people are idiots. That's okay. Idiot means they don't know. They just never studied. So I won't hold it against them. But if they start speaking blasphemies, I'll correct them. They've never studied. Remember, they admitted so he couldn't breathe. And that's why they just put all you dumbasses through these last 5 years with this 5G whiz, which is an oxygen depletion wave. Like, I can't breathe. And they'd stretch you back and hang you from a tree. You were staked to a yoke or a stock. They would peg you, not from behind, you dumbasses. Seriously, you're torturing, and that's what it was. The Romans were masters. Remember, John was crucified on an X. Peter was hung upside down, crucified. You're an idiot. You don't know anything about torture. You're torturing my ears, my vision, just by thinking. Just to remember, if you covet another man's wife, you've been thinking about it. So think about what you say. Think about what you see. You better study. It's a lot more than meets the eye. Yeah, it is. So like Transformer, oh yeah. Nobody hung from crosses. He tells you to carry your cross in Matthew daily. He said, my disciples in Luke. So you're not a disciple if you're not carrying your cross. He didn't carry a cross. They carried a yoke. He was staked to a yoke. He carried that yoke and he was raised like Lazarus, like he rose from the dead, like Jonah from the darkness, like Christ entombed. He rose. They raised him and staked his feet, one over the other, cleated it so you can lift up on your nailed feet, so you could get a fresh air into your lungs. This is the only way you could breathe. They'd stretch you back, and it came to finish you off if the birds didn't peck your eyes out or eat your tongue or your ear wax out of your ear, because they couldn't hang a Roman citizen. They couldn't leave you there on the Sabbath. They had to take you down. This is what they did to my love. And when they came to break his fucking legs, that's how they kill you. Grow up. That's passion, not anger. That's how they came and would kill a man if he wasn't finished. And when they came to Christ to finish him off, guess what? He'd already passed, fulfilling his prophecy. Yes, not a broken bone in his body, the unblemished sacrificial lamb, fulfilling his prophecy. Exactly as he's perfect. Did all this for his bride, not people who hung from crosses. You haven't taken enough time to study the Roman customs, cultures. They were masters at torture. Crucifying a man on a tree was their favorite way to crucify a man. Remember, they would leave you hanging there. Imagine that birds coming in and peck your eyes out, peck your tongue out. Lengua, woo! Maybe they made some tacos. They had stuck him like he was a pig, bled him out, ripped his beard out of his face. How about that? Anybody ever tell you that? Beard blood he paid for with his bride. Beard blood. Yeah. On the hearts of his bride. Tables, not altars. Remember, on stone tablets? Not your little iPad Jesus. Get out of here. You don't know what they did to my love. You don't know Jesus Christ. You don't know who he is. You know some other Jesus, and he warned of many. Yeah, Christ, Paul warned of another, two Jesus, right? So, hey, why can Pakistan have military nuclear weapons and Iran can't? Because fuck America, right, Pakistan? Hey, I had to say it. I had to put it out there. Remember, why can Israel have nuclear weapons and Iran can't? Because fuck America, right? How about they just threatened it, right? But Iran can't, so America. So no, see, you're an idiot. Get the fuck out of here, you child. Island boy. There's only one form. I'm going to give you one more little gem. If you don't own this book right here, this exact book that I have in my hands, because there's only one thing. Thank you for moderating that, idiot. There's only one accepted text, the interlinear Textus Receptus. Interlinear Textus Receptus. The accepted text. See that? Remember, old Jewish book written in Greek, this New Testament, this new covenant that we're under, coded by the number. If you're not doing it by the number, you're not studying. You don't even know what you're talking about. You got to pull every one of these words and study it one word at a time to know. You have to know the definition of every word or you're an idiot. It means you don't know what you're talking about. You've never read it, heard it, or ever seen it. So I'm not insulting you. Idiotos is the definition, what I just gave you. You're a lame, simple man, uneducated man, uneducated. You've just never known. You haven't taken the time to study, and it's not holy. It's an ignoramus. is the same word. Ignorant, to be ignorant of something means you don't know. So don't sit there and open your mouth and say, oh, there's all these versions. I know they're all garbage. Burn them all. Actually, don't, because we sound like, like swastika Nazi Germany here, but put them in an archive. They're trash. Don't trash them, but read them after you actually read the only text where they pulled out. This is an old Jewish book. Remember in the 12th century, they pulled out every single word and defined it with a lexicon. You know what a lexicon is. You know what a concordance is. This is coded with the Strong's Concordance. If you don't own a concordance, oh, I sound ignorant, huh? How? Because I'm telling people this. So goodbye, ignorance, ignoramus, uneducated idiot. Are you just an ass? Tell me what an ass is soon. Tell me what an ass is. Give me the definition of an ass. Give me the definition of an ass. This is the interlinear Textus Receptus. We'll move on. This is what in the 12th century, this was the canonization process where Constantine, this is the closest you're going to get to the truth. This is only for the ears that hear, okay? This is only for those, because people can't be learned, brothers and sisters. That's an ass. That Christ would call them brutish in nature, someone who has an unwillingness to learn. So I'm not trying to turn goats into a sheep. So this is for the hearing ear, because he does not take, okay, and remove that restrainer. They're retarded like a carburetor. They've been screwed down and throttled, so they can only intake so much. Advanced or retarded like a carburetor, right? Anybody ever have a throttle? If you know anything about this, is the problem with these people. There's only one canonization process that happened in the 12th century where they pulled out every word and defined it. If you leave definition, you leave the truth. That's Jim Brown. The word truth is aletheia. This is a Greek book, old Jewish book written in Greek. Okay, so actually that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to moderate everybody, anybody in here that's not on subject. Okay, Scott, that I guess you're just thinking it's funny. We won't, but that's a carburetor, right? Isn't a carburetor you advance or retard a carburetor, right? That's not being derogatory. These people think they can only use a certain amount of their brain. They've been restrained. They think they can only use a certain amount of their brain. So they're ignoramus, they're an idiot. You can use a lot more than you would think. How about that? But we'll move on with the subject. There's only one single book that was canonized where they took out in the 12th century. This was called the Council of Nicaea. Okay, so for the hearing ear and the eye that can see, they pulled out every single word and defined these, and this is the closest you can get. If you ever wonder, wow, where's the book? This is it. Now they've made other versions, but they didn't canonize these, take out every word and define. Do you know what a lexicon is? That's a modern day, what you call Webster and English dictionary. In the Old Testament Hebrew, I have the Old Testament right here. This is a 4-volume set. This is the Hebrew. Notice it's written in Hebrew and English. And look, if you pull this open, check this out. What do you know? It's written in the Hebrew and in the English over here. And every look at that. There's a number right there. And if you study that one word, you can take and get this other book that they have. Wow, I got this right here. I'll show you. Alternative medicine. No, that's not it. I was doing some other reading. So, but Strong's Concordance. This is the Strong's Concordance. And this takes every sentence that's in the Old Testament. This is like your eSword app. Anybody use eSword? See, you're missing out. There's so many good study tools that you could be using. So this is your Strong's Concordance. See, look at this right here. See this Hendrickson volume? See this here? Hendrickson volume. Okay, look, this is the one that it goes to, okay? You can use the eSword app until you can get yours coming in the mail. But get your hard copies, guys. The internet could go down at any time from the sun. It doesn't have to be nefarious. But this takes... There's 53 books in the Old Testament. This is a 4-volume set. There's 53 in the Old Testament. There's 13 in the New. Old Jewish book written in Greek. Okay, so there's 2 more. I have them right over here. 53 in the Old. These were the 66 books that were canonized. There were 22 books that were rejected. I have those texts right here. Look at this, the rejected text. There were accepted texts. I just told you it's the accepted text, and there's the rejected text. Remember, text of the Bible. Bible means book. This wasn't written on paper, brothers and sisters, until this canonization process. Until the canonization process. This was written on tablets and scrolls, not on your iPod, Apple. Listen, on tables of stone and tablets like the 10 Commandments.
and scrolls on stone, rock, pounded, chiseled into the rock. This isn't something that somebody could carry around. You'd have to come to somebody like me that could speak this word without actually opening the book. Now, I'm still learning. I'm a work in progress, brothers and sisters. I'm super hyper gospel focused. That's why I know so much and am still learning, but of the gospel, because that's my study. That's what Father birthed me to do. So this book, they took out each word in the 12th century, and they had 150 Catholics, and I don't like any religions. They're all idiots. They're idiots. There's no good religions. They're all vain. It talks about this in Jeremiah. Learn not the ways of the traditions of the heathen, their customs, their ritual, all these celebrations. Everything they do is vanity. It's the complete opposite of what this book says. The only person that are doing this book by the book is Satan himself. Every jot and every tittle will come to pass. The serpent is wiser than all the religions combined into one. Even one person, the biblical scholars, even me. Remember, he tells us must be wise as Leviathan, that serpent that was in the garden that caused that, what if, the old what if deception, brothers and sisters. You question, Father. He said, I do all these things after my own counsel and for my own insurance. So if you want to take the Old Testament and the New Testament, you can only be reading the book that was in the 12th century at the Council of Nicaea, where they put this into what you call a Bible or book, because it wasn't written in this form. So you're blessed to have all these study tools. Probably nobody's ever shown you this. There are rejected texts, and the reason why they rejected these texts, and I tell you, don't study these texts until you build your house on this New Testament gospel before you even start screwing around with the Old, because all the laws of the Old Testament were not abolished, they were fulfilled. The laws of flesh, where there are still 613 commandments of the Old Testament. The ones that were of flesh were the ones that were blotted out in the book of Colossians 2 and 14. You just don't know the scripture well enough, but I can show you that. I'm willing to be charitable. I don't ask you for a dime. Look at all these fake ministries that pull in millions of dollars every year. But you know the beautiful blessing of this ministry? This is bigger than any mega church, any Mormon temple, anything. It is. This has 50,000 followers and subscribers, and I don't care about how big we are. I only care about, we're shadow banned now, so they pull our numbers way back, and that's fine. I don't want a bunch of idiots in here clogging up the ministry, speaking a bunch of Jesus, another gospel speaking. I don't want to hear it, because then I got to go correct it every time. When you guys should be doing this. Iron sharpens iron. We're supposed to be reproofing this word with each other. It's a living testament, a new living will and testament. It's supposed to grow with you. Yeah, you're not just it all. You're going to have to keep studying and putting your nose back to the grindstone. Okay? Remember? That's how they remember. You'd be better to have a millstone tied around your neck and to be cast into the sea than to cause one of mine to stumble. So you better know what you're talking about when it comes to this book. And you better be studying the book this is the oldest version of the book you can be reading. Because before this, it was written on tablets again. So the Council of Nicaea, they took 150 Christians and 150 Catholics. I rebuke both Catholics and Christians. They're idiots. Mormons, okay, this is done at the Council of Nicaea. And each one of these pulled out the words and defined them with what is called a dictionary or a lexicon. They came to words back then, brothers and sisters, like they had been 40 years since they'd taken the Hebrew and turned it and translated it into Aramaic. And things get lost in translation if you don't literally define. There's a difference between translation and transliteration. Transliteration means you literally change no definition, letter, or yod or word. It's the exact. It's been unchanged. And that's how you find this aletheia, truth, is by narrowing yourself. Your definition is not going to get you there. You need to go to the definition from the Old Testament lexicon Hebrew, the New Testament lexicon. That's your dictionary. Pull one word at a time and start studying the word, and then nobody can come against your gospel. Nobody's going to come in here and change a thing, brothers and sisters. This gospel is impermeable. It is impenetrable. It cannot be, because it's gospel-based. My own little things I got going is my thing. But this is this ministry itself, the gospel-based. Every day we teach you Matthew. Every day we go over Luke. Every day we go through Peter. Every day we go through Romans, Corinthians, Colossians, Thessalonians. We continue. Timothy, we can go through this New Testament. And we go through the gospel with you so that you can build your house on the rock. He is the cornerstone, not these fake 33-degree masons. You're building your house on sinking sand, brothers and sisters. Okay? So he is the Petra, he is the Word. If you read it, this is what he's all about. He's not a church. He said the Most High doesn't dwell in temples made by hands. He does not. He dwells within the hearts of the bride, tables of our hearts. Paul said we had that outer man. That's what you don't understand. That's all these temples, that's all these things. And we have the inner man. The one inside us can't sin. That's Christ in you. That's Father inside you. He's going to go to where his Father's house is at, and he destroyed the physical temple. He used to only visit one day a year behind the veil. That is the word toxon, veil, right? Like the rider on the white horse of Revelation, brothers and sisters, and we're already past that horse. Remember, we seen the rider on the white horse, the one with the 58-story Babylonian tower in Manhattan. Yeah. Oh, no, wait. That's the white horse of Revelation. Remember, he's the bringer of the disease and the cure of the disease. The one with the bow and the arrow. That's the word toxon, Toxon. That's the veil, brothers, sisters. The veil is lifted. If you stay in this channel, you'll know why you Father brought you here. He brought you here. We give glory to Shiloh. In the flesh, Christ was birthed as a flesh vessel. He had to fulfill the Gentile nation. He had to fulfill all these laws of flesh under this covenant to put these ones that are destined not to be bound by the law. No, Father is the law. Remember, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy is the Torah. I'm not under the Torah. I'm not under the Levitical law, Sabitical law. I can't celebrate anything. Not going to celebrate this or get wealth and give it to God and no. Only by faith am I saved. But I have to put legs, as it says in this book, on my faith. Girded in my service, he said. Have extra oil and have your lamps trimmed. Be girded. Your loins, right? Take up your cross daily. See, that's a get up off your ass, Jesus, okay? Seriously, I'm bringing a little different. I apologize. I'm a veteran. It doesn't make that right. I commit sin on a daily. So we're all filthy rags. We all fall short of this word, brothers and sisters, but I'm trying to do the best I can with what I've got. And none of us are, you better be going through the servants of Christ, the disciples of Christ, the ones that are going to be martyred, brothers and sisters, spiritually martyred, okay? Because they'll stand in for this agape. And people don't want what's in this New Testament. They want this other version of it. You change even a jot in this book, that's a different gospel. That's the other one Christ warned about. Many will come in his name, right? Many. They've got all flavors: Christian, Presbyterian, Mormon, Baptist. Shit, I don't care if they call themselves an atheist. Most atheists know more than most Christians. I remember when my son came to me, he's about 9 or 10 years old, because he loves this word, and I don't know where he's at, but I love him, and I don't know where he's at, but he came to me and he said, Dad, I was talking to this guy, and he said he was an atheist. Dad, why? I've done this multiple times now. I want to talk to you about this. And he said, Dad, these atheists know more than the Christians, Dad. How come the Christians, they don't want to talk about anything? That the things that were, that he's inside us and he's not in a church and, 2 or 3 gathered in my name. They're, they don't want to, they want, oh, no, I go to this church and I'm this and that. And he said that these atheists know more when I start talking to them about the word, and they tell me more about the word than these Christians or Catholics or Baptists. And I said, they're just hiding behind that label, son. Don't you see what they're telling you? They know he doesn't dwell in a temple. I wouldn't put a label on myself, because what they're doing is they're denying Christ. So they're just in. When he learned that, he knew then that was, he kept coming to me and telling me from that day on that was the ultimate sin in his eyes. He's opinionated about things, and I understand what he was saying. And this is a young man at 11 years old that loved the word, but kept coming to me and, about things and questions. But when he'd go out and talk about it, he said he would talk about the word, and that his friends that would said, oh, I'm an atheist, that they knew more than his friends that were Christian about the word. And I said, that's fine, son. You see what they're doing is they don't want to, they know he doesn't dwell in a church. So you found your home, okay? And you found it in the word. That's all. So if you love this word, don't worry about it. I won't try to change you. This will feed you. I'll give you the meat. If you want to tithe back, keep commenting. Come back when you have more time. The tithe is the gospel. That's what it is. It's not money. It used to be food. Hopefully one day this ministry will tithe food. I'm looking forward to that, brother, sister. I hope you guys can see that come to pass, man. One day, all these things will come to pass. And so we'll see. Will the ministry to be able to tithe food? We'll see. If not, we're going to keep tithing this spiritual food, okay? This meat and this not watered down milk. So that's what I can give you for now. I've given everything I have to this ministry, brothers, sisters, and I work out here daily, and I spend sometimes 16-hour days in here for the ministry, and then I work 8 hours here. I don't even know why I give a 24-hour day. When do you have time to sleep? Listen, you get out of my sleep habits. I'll get plenty of sleep when I die. Don't you understand that? So I'll worry about that. I'll rest for a minute. So anyways, my work is not done. I have to endure to the end to be saved. So all of us need to help each other out. Show, this is why we come in here and reproof each other with this word. We edify each other by showing each other that we got to go through this suffering. And everybody's going to tell you can accept another form of this text, and there's no other accepted text. There's only one version of the text, brothers and sisters. You understand? There's only one version. So people aren't going to want these truths, brothers and sisters. Yeah. Remember, his chosen, his elect, his bride. Everybody else, you're going to hell. That's most people. Piss off, you're going to hell. Don't worry about it. You're not turning goats into sheep, brothers and sisters. He created vessels of wrath fitted for destruction from the foundation of the world. That's most people. In the book of Matthew, it tells us they enter by the wide gate because they're not willing to narrow. Broad is the way that leads to the wide gate because they're not willing to narrow themselves to lead to the straight gate. Dialobo, Greek word, to be, it's a noun, to be pushed on both sides, hated by your friends and your family. The world hates you. Nobody likes you. And you get pushed through that narrow opening, right? Till you fit through that straight gate because you're not willing to your Broadway Jesus. Easy Jesus, your one day Sunday, That's right. So remember, Father only loves his bride. So he doesn't want them to perish. They'll blot their names out of the book. So he chose them, but by their own will, they fell under idolatry. So don't worry about it. Most people go to hell. You're not going to be with many people in your new body. His bride will be a teeny tiny flock. So when we come back at this, reset, the great reset, they keep mocking people, but so remember, he's an all loving Father, right? But he don't love everybody. So yeah, no, he beats the ones he loves. He does that. That's the word tribulation, the ellipsis. Paul told us that if you want to receive your inheritance, he said, through much the ellipsis we must go through to receive that kingdom of heaven. And that's your inheritance. Revelation 3:11, don't sleep. I come quickly like a thief in the night. Let no one take your crown. So you can fall and, for this other sweet Jesus. How about that? You little lollipop Jesus, You don't ask no questions. You just let some man broker it out. You don't sit down and define the word. And you don't love it. When you love it, it's your passion. It's a mad passion, and people don't like it. And it irritates people because you do it more than you do anything else. It is a majority of your time. I don't know how people spend all their time with the world, but Father doesn't give them the time. So they're not blessed with the time. They don't have a bounty or abundance of time. I traded my time for knowledge, bis, bathos, busos. So, and I'm still learning. So, you know what I'm saying? You're going to have to just keep supping with the word, brothers, sisters. We all have to go through this process of baptism in blood. Oh, I'm getting a call. Hold on. You guys got to take a pause for the cause. Take a pause. Go let your dog use the bathroom or something. Go hang out with your wife for a minute. I'll take this call. Man, they're hammering me. They're hammering me. Phone call, so they might call back. So you'll just have to wait. If you want some more of this, you'll have to be patient. I understand that non-Christians don't deserve heaven, but God is not forced to torture them for all eternity. You're an idiot. Only tyrant acts like this. What the hell are you talking about? KM, you don't know anything about the scripture. You're an idiot. Get out of here. Goodbye. Goodbye. Oh, I'll be back, guys. If you want to hang out, if not,